Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Wood. I live near Desirano, Ontario. And not to sound like a broken record, but I am a 5 year revenge retaliation, full physical, identity theft victim, identity stolen, 5 years of injuring, torturing, skull deforming, body mutilations, kidnapping, sex assaults, being completely and totally deformed, medically blacklisted, lies, time buying, cover ups, arrest refusals, false arrest, damage is done. I'm a 5 year victim of Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police for revenge retaliation. I am an intended homicide victim for revenge retaliation. I am an intended framing victim by corrupt criminal Ontario Provincial Police. I am a slave traffic victim of corrupt Ontario Provincial Police. Well, since I started doing this, it looks like the whole fucking side of my face completely changed. Interesting. I am a medically blacklisted, kidnapped, sex assaulted, revenge retaliation victim of the police for speaking of their human trafficking, sex slavery trafficking, organized crime, organized killers, organized cover ups, cops, doctors, justice of the peace, 3 mental health workers, ex inmates, ex psych ward patients, sex offender, pedophile, sex slavery trafficking, drug trafficking, junkies who are working with and for OPP for drop charges, for immunity, and free drugs. Sex slave traffickers, human traffickers within Ontario Provincial Police who are guilty of murder in the first degree, premeditated, conspired with intent to commit. I was shot August of 2019 by XOPP chief. XOPP chief once again, year 2019, drove a white Jeep Wrangler. Staff sergeants, years 2019, 2021. Shannon Cork, Robert Kane, 7224, Robert Lucas, Stacy, a mental health worker, Constable Stacy, mental health worker, was Napanee, Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS, Shelley Huffner, Dave Weiss, Constable Ward, Spencer Mills, 14716, whether they have transferred or not to avoid arresting, charging, and lawsuits for the crimes that they are guilty of, to avoid them, and in the hopes of deniability, 5 years, lies, time buying, cover ups, and more. Dr. Tatiana Vukanovic is guilty of attempted murder, guilty of torture crimes, guilty of being involved with my identity theft, guilty of attempted murder with the intent to commit and cover up through file falsifications to get me discriminated against, to get me medically blacklisted, including being falsely charged through the hospital to prevent anything legal on them for the crimes they are guilty of, not once, but twice. Justice of the peace is also involved. Accusations, threats, intimidations, obstructions. Dr. Tatiana V, aka Dr. Margie V, aka Tatiana V, Tatiana Vukadinovic. She is a name and file falsifier. She is the girlfriend to Stacy, that's Kingston AMHS now. Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Waldron, Dr. McGregor, ex-CEO Cubby Duck, and Patient Relations Brown, or whatever her name is, are all criminally negligent involved in co-committing and covering up. They are criminally negligent in torture crimes. Like I said, my identity theft, medical blacklisting, treatment refusals, discriminations with intent, and attempted murder, each and every one of them. Their accomplices who are drug fed, money paid, and cannot be arrested or touched without $22,000. One, Anthony Tony Axel Rose Hearns. He is guilty of attempted murder with the intent to commit for his husband or boyfriend, Dale Hartwick, who is guilty of my identity theft with the intent to commit first-degree murder for drop charges for a stabbing he committed against his wife or ex-wife's boyfriend. Dale Hartwick's uncle, Harry Hartwick. He is approximately 83 years old. He is a child groomer. He is a child abuser. He is a sex offender. And he is guilty of being involved with my identity theft, brain injuring me, and attempted murder. He is guilty of sex assaults and abuse on me as a child in Winnipeg, Manitoba as well. There is one Raymond LeBlanc. He is a criminal stalker. He is a meth head. He is guilty of torture crimes on me, being involved with my identity theft, and attempted murder with intent to commit. And he's also guilty of killing my dog, torturing and killing my dog, Runt, in March of 2023 with one Tyler T. Baglake, who was Robert Kane, #1 rat informant, meth fed piece of shit, approximately 25 to 35 years old. He is a serious meth head. He is guilty of torture crimes on me. He's guilty of stalking. He's guilty of attempted murder. Jason Gimpy Two-Step Van Alstyne. He is guilty of attempted identity theft on me. He's guilty of attempted murder with the intent to commit identity disability and insurance fraud. He's guilty of torture crimes on me and attempted homicide. He is guilty of selling laced fentanyl to commit overdose murders that are being covered up, and he is getting away with it between Napanee and Kingston. He is possibly guilty of another homicide that happened in September of 2021 as well, who OPP had a serious hate on for as well, because Jason Van Alstyne was with this guy when he died. And he is the one that sells the lace drugs through Robert Kane. There is Bert the Hitman Hustler. He's guilty of being involved with my identity theft, skull deforming me, stalking, sex assaults. He is guilty of attempted murder on me with intent to commit. He is Robert Lucas's sex slave. He is a sex slave trafficker himself. He is a serious meth and crackhead. He thinks that he used to play hockey for the NHL for the Philadelphia Flyers and Hartford Whalers. He is in a permanent psychosis, highly psychotic, highly dangerous, and guilty of attempted murder. Robert Barry, his boyfriend Robert, who are guilty of torture crimes on me, sex assaults, and attempted homicide with intent to commit. Robert Barry is a truck driver, a sex slave trafficker, and a possible serial killer. His boyfriend Robert is an AIDS victim, and he is committing sex assaults, and he is spreading his disease around to victims. These are all OPP, drug-fed, money-paid pieces of shit. They actually get drugs delivered to them every single day after 2 a.m. shift through OPP, either through Robert Kane or one of his boys. Every single day, they're free drugs of choice. For Dale Hartwick and Tony Hearns, it is speed. For Blair Hardy, for Bill Wooldridge, it is heroin. He also has many alias names. Bill Wooldridge, Bill Cooldridge, Bill Delarosable are their accomplices. But those are his alias names. He's a guy that lives on Center Street North, and OPP are very well aware of where he lives, behind the law office on Center and Bridge Street. He has many alias names. He goes by Bill Wooldridge, Bill Cooldridge, Bill Delarosable, Robert Cross, James Bubbles, Stephen Mavis, which is the name of a wanted inmate escapee. He is guilty of criminally stalking my mother, and he is guilty of murdering her in 2020 through Spencer Mills, 14716, and through Stacy, mental health worker, because they told him that he and I were switched at birth. He thinks that he is my dad. When he was criminally stalking my mother, he was calling my mother mom. This is why OPP are hiding and protecting this piece of shit big time, because he is murdering for them, especially elderly. Blair Frederick Hardy, he is also guilty of criminally stalking and being involved with my mother's murder December 20th, 2020 as well. Friends, and to this day associated with serial killer Paul Bernardo, and also his buddy serial killer Russell Williams, the ex-colonel. The one known as Bill Wooldridge is a personal friend of Russell Williams. He is a copycat. He is $22,000, which is extortion, as a matter of fact, along with everything else. They are guilty of treason. They are guilty of domestic terrorism, committing very serious crimes, ending bloodlines, completely and totally deforming victims, falsely arresting victims, mutilating them, completely and totally committing identity thefts to fuck over their victims with wanted inmate sex offender pieces of shit. Well, I am going through this with 100% proof, been proving everything and still not being able to do anything about it. I am medically blacklisted within the province of Ontario. I cannot get medical help unless I go to Quebec, down east, or Manitoba. Dr. Tatiana Vukadinovic assured this through my file falsification to get me discriminated and blacklisted against, plus being falsely charged and labeled a lot of things by a lot of criminals to get away with this, to buy time and not having to fucking answer for anything while I am suffering. You are guilty of murdering the Wood bloodline by doing this to me, OPP, and it's all because I would not fucking suck your dick, and it's because I spoke of the human trafficking and the homeless exploitation for monetary gain out of the Morning Star mission, and the possible money laundering that was taking place using the homeless and using a charitable mission as a means to do it, to be above suspicion and get away with it through coldest night of the year. So congratulations, OPP. You are pieces of fucking felt shit. I hope this is seen. It probably won't be, because my Facebook, my YouTube, and my TikTok do anything about it. I will be disappearing at 83, 85 years and being physically tortured. But right now, there's a fucker doing this to me. His name is Dale Hartwick, and he has false teeth. And I can see him and feel him right in my mouth right now. I get air pumping through this fucking tube in my throat all the time that I never previously had, that goes from my chest to the back of my neck, up through my throat. It pumps air through me. It pumps shit through me. It pumps piss through me. Well, I go completely and totally numb and get fucking tortured by these pieces of shit. No one is shared, because OPP, you are guilty of first-degree murder along with Dale Hartwick, Harry Hartwick, and the rest of the OPP bend over, fall down fucks. I got on here to send a message to everybody and to show, look what the fuck Ontario provincial police are truly about.